everyone! So in today's video, I am talking about my top 5 favorite foundations. Really excited because listen, I'm not just saying, oh, these are the favorites of the moment. These are pretty good. These are holy grail items for me. They're really the epitome of like tried and true items that I really stand behind. I'm not just going to be telling you why I love them, I'm also going to be doing demos and swatches for you guys so that I can show you why. Really, let's not waste any time. I want to first talk about a pick that I truly believe to be innovative. I feel like we've all gotten used to brands saying, this is a new innovative formula with this technology and this ingredient, and it all starts to just kind of sound like static. And what I like to do is kind of drown out the static of that and look at the formula itself and see if it really is something new and something different. So this is the Shiseido Synchroskin Self-Refreshing Foundation. It has been a holy grail for a while now, at least a year and a half. The reason I absolutely adore this formula is that I just haven't tried anything quite like it. So the whole idea behind this foundation is that as you continue to wear it, it refreshes itself, hence the name Self-Refreshing Foundation. But it actually does that. It's actually accurate to the experience that I have when I wear the foundation. So another way that you could look at this is that this is the most natural, healthy looking long wear foundation that I have found. Some foundations will start to settle into fine lines, they will cake up, they'll start to look heavy, and just you'll be able to kind of see them sitting on the skin as you continue to wear them. But what happens with this foundation is that it kind of melts back into your skin in such a beautiful, flattering way. It doesn't collect oddly or look awkward on the skin. The wear of it is very consistent, and also every time I apply it, the look is good. So consistency is really important when I'm talking about holy grail products. If it's a product that one day it looks absolutely amazing and then the next day it looks a little bit wonky, then to me that kind of defeats the purpose of finding that holy grail repurchase product. I want consistency. I want to be able to wake up in the morning, put on the foundation, and know what I'm getting. This is definitely that for me. And I just love the way that it moves with the skin. So the finish of this is a beautiful, creamy, natural finish. I have 2 foundations that I'm going to talk about that I do think would work for a variety of skin types, and this is definitely one of those foundations for me. It has this beautiful, natural medium coverage, and it also kind of blurs the skin in a creamy kind of way. There are certainly some foundations that I think are a little bit too heavy when they kind of blur the skin, but this one still looks fresh while offering that very slight kind of airbrushed look. I talk about it a lot. I have recommended it a lot on my channel, but I know that a lot of you guys really enjoy it like I do, which is why it's always kind of like a fail-safe option for me. I just love that it's one of those formulas that looks good on a variety of different skin types and people. Absolutely a stunning formula. And my second pick is the Shiseido Synchroskin Radiant Lifting Foundation. I promise there are some other brands coming up, but I had to recommend this one because I love the original Synchroskin, but when my skin is feeling a little bit more dry or looking a little bit more sallow, this is the version that I'm reaching for. I have an entire video comparing these two, but I will give you a quick rundown. Really, the main difference between these 2 formulas is that this is a little bit more liquidy and it definitely has a little bit more radiance. And when I say radiance, it's not like a greasy, dewy kind of look. It is just such a gorgeous, soft dew, soft radiance. It has that beautiful restraint that I also have noticed with the original Synchroskin. Like, they could have easily added more coverage to this, tried to make it last even longer, but the beauty about these products is just their balance. Balance is really key for me when I am finding those perfect formulas. This formula is so perfectly radiant. It consistently looks incredible on my skin, and I love that it's a beautiful, fresh, radiant look that also offers that medium coverage. And on top of that, I also find that this still gives me a touch of blur the way that the original does. I do think that the original is a little bit better at being that kind of natural, creamy, airbrushed look, whereas this is a little bit less airbrushed than that. So, you know, depending on what your preference is, you can go from there. But I really have been finding that when my skin needs that pick-me-up, I need that medium coverage, this is just a go-to. It's absolutely gorgeous. And by the way, I have the shade 140 in both of these formulas. Beautiful, stunning formulas. I hope that they never stop making them. All right, my next pick is a pick from Makeup Forever. Now I have to say, I was thinking about this earlier. I think this has to be my favorite Makeup Forever product that they have ever created. I'm just really impressed with this. So this is the Makeup Forever Reboot Foundation. A lot of you guys recommended me try this out last year. I finally did last fall, and just holy shit, you guys. This has the most beautiful, elevated skin-like finish. And when I say elevated skin-like, there are so many different like sheer light coverage foundations. This is more of a sheer to light coverage. So many that start to feel the same. They all are like, oh, it's a veil of coverage, it's very natural, and a lot of them look pretty. You know, they look pretty, but this one stands apart because it makes your skin, it's not just my skin, but better. It's like my skin, but on its best skin day ever, and even better than that. So this is very liquidy, and it actually sits super closely on the skin. I actually like to apply this with fingers and then blend it out with a dry sponge. I like the finish of it the most that way, but this just wants to look like skin every time that you apply it. And when I say it wants to look like skin, it wants to look like perfected skin. It doesn't want to look like perfected makeup. There is a beautiful freshness about this. And when I say that it's more of an elevated skin-like finish, I think what makes this different is that for such a thin product with such a sheer amount of coverage that still looks hydrating, I've never been able to find a product that will give you that touch of a filtered look. It's very subtle. There's something really special about it. And I do know that there are other skin tints out there that are like, it will blur the skin and airbrush the skin, not in the beautiful, subtle way that this one does. And I love that it doesn't sacrifice the radiance of the product in the process of doing that. So thin and lightweight. Just, I really absolutely love this one. This will never give you like a medium coverage by any means, but I like that I can still build it up and not worry about it looking heavy. Throughout the day, it will eventually fade, but I'm telling you, it's just one of those products that will instantly give you that perfect no makeup foundation look. And by the way, if you guys are finding value in this, definitely make sure to give this video a thumbs up so that other people can find it. All right, next, my number 4 pick is the IT Cosmetics CC Cream. CC Cream foundation, whatever. So the reason I always go back to this foundation and I always recommend it is that this is just instant, healthy looking skin. And this is a kind of makeup product that you don't need to fuss. It really will apply beautifully no matter how you apply it. You could be in your car, fingers, brush, sponge, your dog applying it, like this is always going to look incredible. It gives you instant medium coverage, so you have a nice base down very quickly. And really, if you deal with kind of tired looking skin, it's lacking radiance, if you're dealing with redness on the skin, you're lacking like moisture, this is a product that I always go to when my skin is feeling like that. In fact, when I really don't feel like wearing a lot of makeup, if I'm dealing with like problematic skin, like if I have a really dry nose, I'm sick and I have a lot of flaking, if I have dry flaky pimples, or let's say like in general my skin is looking sallow, this is the product that I will go to. This is like fake it till you make it makeup. I'm honestly always shocked how my skin looks with it on. Like the before and after, I'm like, holy crap. No one would be able to tell what's going on. And again, when you apply it, it's just so easy to get such an even, beautiful look. I really believe that makeup should be easy and it should be consistent. And this is definitely a very easy product to get. A beautiful, seamless blend, beautiful medium coverage. I see the hype behind it. I understand why it's a bestseller. It is more on the dewy side. Like, I don't think that folks with combination or oily skin would like this. I certainly think that it's worth a try if this sounds like something up your alley. I saved one of my favorites for last, but I also saved it for last because it's always a little bit hard for me to recommend this one. But when I tell you that there is nothing like it, I do believe that. I have loved this foundation for years, and it's one of those foundations that when I need to know my skin is going to look incredible in photography, but also in real life, it needs to look how it does in the photo. This is the foundation that I go for. It is the Shiseido Aqua foundation. Now this has a hefty price tag. You could certainly just go with any of the other products I'm talking about today, but I did feel like I needed to mention this one. It's the foundation I'm wearing today because I really still don't think that there is another foundation that is quite like this. So it is a water-based foundation. It's incredibly thin and very, very liquidy. But when it goes onto the skin, something happens. I still don't really quite understand it, but it just manages to sit so closely on the skin that you can barely tell when it's applied that it's makeup. But when it's on, it's beautifully airbrushed. It is fresh looking. The coverage is also really nice because it's more of a light coverage, but it builds so evenly on itself. So there are some foundations that, you know, you're not gonna get like a full coverage with this, in my opinion. You can get close, but I wouldn't want to keep building and building and building. This is a foundation that builds onto itself so seamlessly that you can't really tell that there are multiple layers. Because it's water-based, I think that's why it builds so beautifully. It never looks heavy, and just to be able to have a foundation that in a photo looks beautiful, but you can look at yourself in the mirror and say, my skin, that looks like my skin, but just professional looking. Like, it looks like professionally done makeup. To have a product like that, I mean, that's why I always go back to it. When I think about like wedding day makeup, this is the first foundation that comes to mind. And really for a long time, I always would say, you know, this is the best foundation that I found for dry skin. But then I started to have some of my friends say, hey, I have oily skin. I tried it out and I absolutely loved it. I just needed a little bit of powder. I really do believe that it's one of the best foundations in the world. Because it's so expensive, the shade range also isn't great. I don't think that it's necessarily a must-have for those reasons. So please let me know if you guys like any of these foundations. Like, are there any foundations that you would like me to try and review for you guys? Let me know if you want to see an affordable version of this video too. I would love to do that video. And if you enjoyed the demos and the swatches, if you enjoyed just having me walk you through all of these foundations, I would love to have you back. So make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. Thank you guys again so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one.